Hi, it's Joey, and today I'm going to be watching Superman and Lois, Season 3, Episode 9, The Dress. I love this show, let's go.
Prehistoric kind.
Okay, what
Neither
about
of them have
the
aged
botanical
even
gardens?
the tiniest bit.
Simone said
Steps.
Okay, that's really good.
Do you mind not telling Mom and Dad about Mr. Cushing yet?
By which part?
Sweetheart, your parents need to know.
Look, man.
Beats me.
Don't lie to your parents.
don't go anywhere.
You don't have to keep her on a leash.
No, you can talk to me, right?
Does he now?
There's no way in hell he's going to admit to anything.
Mm-hmm.
Find out what he wants, then we go from there.
I imagine he wants his wife, who is dying, and in your custody. Again, she's a murderer, so I'm not weeping tears, but at least, you know, visitation.
John Henry should take point on this one.
Yeah, but the whole Natalie Mateo thing is kind of fuel to the
I think this is a
fire.
mistake.
Kinda do too. Right now, as things stand, I think a more neutral figure should sound him out, and then maybe we send in John Henry.
Your wife is a murderer and a violent superhuman weapon.
Pila is dying.
She is also a murderer, though. Did she grant the people... I mean, okay, first of all, before I say what I'm about to say, I want to preface this that I actually do support them getting supervised visitation, like, you know, in a way where we can make sure she doesn't escape. I'm fully behind them getting visitation. But also, she's my wife, she's dying. Yeah, did she let the people she murdered go see their loved ones before they died? Did she give them any consideration? Or did she just murder them? For getting this rageful about it. She's a murderer.
That's what we want.
You are worth more than any rookie card.
That is the most romantic thing anyone has ever said to me. Do you have money left for a text?
I will have to rent one. If you're asking me to be your date.
Clark Kent, will you be my date to the Middies?
Mm-hmm.
Bless.
You're wrong about
No
this.
way.
We need to let Bruno see Pia.
Nuts until he
Is
meets her.
she... What's... I mean, I guess, I know cancer and illnesses can do a lot to your head, but is she kind of thinking that, like, next steps are that she's going to die, and so she doesn't need any of this stuff, or that she's not the same person she was, or her journalism is worth nothing because they put a bad guy away for a crime he didn't commit? But that dress has so much memory to it, even if you never wear it again.
Demands.
You're keeping a husband from his dying wife.
They're both murderers.
I know what they've done.
Then stop letting your emotions play into it.
Humans
We
have
have
civil
leverage.
rights.
This is how we get Bruno to do what we want.
You feel sorry for him. I mean, Pia's dying and he can't be with her.
Being empathetic doesn't mean your judgment's
How many
compromised.
clothes do they have
That's
to
what
give
makes you
away?
Superman. You see the best in people, even your enemies. It's one of the things I love about you.
Because you're some notorious crime boss.
We've talked about this.
More like you've lied to me.
Watch your tone.
Have you guys ever killed anyone?
Oh, many people, sweetheart. I'm really sorry for this boy. I mean, in some ways I respect them for keeping him out of it, but, like, what do they think? He's gonna find out eventually.
Everything we've done is for you and Hobbs Bay. I need you to believe that.
You have killed
just wanna
people,
see
so
Mom.
don't lie to him.
And you,
The DOD already said no.
you let me worry about
Have you forgotten? I'm a crime boss. Again, I mean, he doesn't
Are you
want your
okay, Buck?
son to look at you that way.
It's awesome
But
not being
you
able to walk outside by
are.
myself anymore.
Her surgery's coming up, right?
When she finishes her
Is that it? That she's not going to be able to wear it in the same
chemo.
way?
Yeah. It's her body, and I'm just a guy who's never gonna go through this. So I don't really feel like it's my place to bring it up until she's ready.
Maybe you should let me.
That could help.
He does seem like a solid guy.
I'll go talk to her.
No.
Thing is like he does seem like a solid guy, but at the same time, they can't know for certain that he didn't know. Like, they can give him the benefit of the doubt, I suppose, but the risk is huge.
Really want to see Mateo? Let's make it happen.
This isn't the best advice. I mean, it's the best advice if the dad just didn't want to see him because he thought she should be studying or something. But, like, it's more the wider context. I don't think there is no future for her and Mateo, but I think in this exact moment, it's not the time.
Come in.
It's your life and your body that'll be changed forever, and I don't want you to feel alone for that. So please, just talk to me, Lois.
Give them the missing items before it's too late.
It's ultimately what matters most to you.
If
I know
these
he's
items
trying
were
to
to
cure
return,
her.
you promise.
This wasn't me.
They got very close before he heard them. Look, it's so hard because I do understand both sides, and I do kind of think he has a human right to see his wife. And also the empathetic way worked. He was gonna, it seemed like, maybe he was bluffing or lying, give over the stuff. But at the same time, this is the leader of a huge gang, and if you're able to get a warrant to storm his place and look for stuff, fucking storm his place and look for stuff. Like, he's a mass murderer.
Where my daughter lives.
I understand, but you're making this personal.
No, he made it personal by strapping a bomb to my sister and threatening my family.
We can't answer a threat with another threat.
We hate
not
this
how we do
man,
things.
but
was
we
my
cannot
fault to
keep
make-
I may have
escalating.
let you run point on this, but that was.
Sam made a mistake. I am shocked.
There's so much of my life I was uncomfortable with my body. And it feels like now that I'm finally comfortable, cancer comes along to ruin that.
But can't you do...
It just feels like every day I lose something.
I know.
My
I
taste
like that
buds,
they're
my
not
hair.
minimizing this, because it would be so easy to kind of be like, yeah, but it's just your boobs in your body, your life will be there. Because, yeah, that is true, but how you feel with your body is important, and I'm glad they're not
Those will come
minimizing it.
back.
Every right to be upset.
All you
Not just
can
me,
do
though. I keep
is
thinking
try
about
and
Clark, too.
focus on the rest of it.
You'll still be you.
Will I? I'll probably feel less feminine.
Said wake him up.
God, he lashes out
something I need
emotionally,
him to
so
do.
he lashes out emotionally, so he lashes out emotionally. These male egos.
You see her?
Because that's what it is with John Henry. As well as him. And again, I get why John Henry is upset, because Bruno Mannheim is a literal murderer, threatened his family, etc. I'm not, like, faulting him for being upset, but his methods are just not okay. And I also understand that he has lost stuff on a scale that most people here cannot comprehend. But at the same time, he shouldn't be put in positions of authority because he's not able to deal with it.
God, it's wild.
You mean terrifying? She nearly killed my dad.
Wait, hold on. Maybe it's not that simple.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously?
I mean, sure, there's
They're not
things
gonna
I
be
don't know
okay
about
right
my parents,
now.
but I mean, come on, it's not like your dad's some great guy.
Why would you say that?
Because my mom's dying in the DOD and he won't even let me see her. He's using her as, like, leverage over my dad.
Which is a very shit thing to do.
I didn't know that.
Look, Matt,
But also, what your parents have done is so off the scale in comparison to even that shit thing, sir.
let's not make this about our parents. I don't care because I love you.
They know each other, my
Really?
sweethearts. Bless them.
Yeah.
Should hug it out so we can all be friends again?
I'm good. I think we're okay.
Hug it.
I'm with Sarah.
Ah, beautiful brothers. I'm just gonna sneak in here real quick. Yeah.
You know, he needs an ELT. Fucking hell.
I was told to make you suffer.
Isn't Mannheim a misunderstood sweet man? I
When I-
still feel like he had a right to, like, see his wife at least once, like she's dying. I feel like a certain degree of compassion is needed. But I also think, like, we can't forget who he is. And I understand why he doesn't want his son to know he's a murderer, and it maybe is kinder on his son to not know, but at the same time, his son needs to know exactly who his parents
It's
are.
all the drip. No surgery could ever change the way I see you.
I know
She's
that.
just
But how you see me isn't the problem.
how she sees herself.
You're nothing without the suit.
Yeah, Mannheim's nothing without his men. Like, shocked. He's still the guy that built the suit. Jesus Christ, poor Smallville. I'm also stressed about everyone else. Is it bad that, like, because I feel like there could be a lot of collateral damage here. I kind of want Mateo to get hurt. Like, the teensiest bit hurt. Like, not anything major. Like, a little scrape on his cheek that will heal and leave no trace. But when he goes home, his dad will be like, "You're injured." And he'll be like, "Yeah, this crazy guy was attacking Smallville and something he did hurt me."
John, no!
Okay, stop now. He's down. Why was that John no? Did he kill him?
You always have a choice.
He could have gone for a non-lethal blow, I guess. Is that the thing? That he could have non-lethaled it? But instead he lethaled it?
Miller was supposed
What about John Henry? Is he okay?
No, but I don't think he's been okay for a while.
What would you have given to have those last minutes with her?
That was different.
Yeah, we didn't have a choice. They do.
Like, I understand, I get it in the sense that, like, they have killed people and not given them the chance. So I'm not weeping to... Mateo is different. Mateo deserves to see his mom and to say, why can't he get to say all the things he wants to say to her, though I don't know if he will be able to, because she's dying and your brain kind of forgives people when they're dying more easily. But, like, Mateo definitely deserves to get to see his mom again. I get the thing with Bruno, but the whole point is that we are better than them. We should let them say goodbye.
You tried to kill Mr. Irons, and because of that, Mom's gonna die all alone. And I won't ever get to see her again.
Fuck.
It's time I show you what I've been working on.
Oh Lord. Mateo, please tell people about this as soon as you see it, okay? I know you think it's gonna save your mum, but... He looks healthier than he did before, to be fair. The cure for cancer, brilliant, fantastic. Murdering people, very, very shit.
I was talking about you. Who you are, your heart, your passion. Lois, you amaze and inspire me every single day.
You were also talking about my body.
Yeah, because I love your body. And I will always love your body.
She called him out on that.
Even when it's all scarred up?
Yep.
Even then, whatever scars you might have, they're just symbols that you survived. And they're why I still get to have you. That surgery is going to save your life, and there is nothing more beautiful to me than
That's
that.
what we have to focus
It makes me feel different.
And
What
we
if I don't want to
navigate
be
that.
intimate anymore?
We'll figure it out. And I promise you we're
I
going
love
to come
that
out of
we're
it stronger.
seeing these frank, intimate conversations that real people have in these scenarios.
Wow.
I love you, Clark. More than ever.
Okay, so to start with, I love the discussions around Lois's double mastectomy and what it's going to do to her body, how that's going to change the way she feels, because that is something women go through all the time. Men also obviously can have breast cancer, but it's not as much of an impact on men. And any scenario where your body radically changes because of something medical that happens to you, because anything that happens to you, is very hard to deal with. It is very hard to deal with kind of how does that change how you feel about yourself, and in general, women's feelings about their own bodies is very complex and difficult throughout our lives. So I think something this show has done, like, I still have my thing where I say, like, to a degree, TV should be escapism, and if someone in your life is currently going through cancer, you would not be able to watch this show because it would be too close to home the entire time. But I also think they are managing to do a very beautiful job of telling this. And by beautiful, I mean it's gut-wrenching and awful and honest. It's not shying away from the difficulties, it's not glamorizing it, it's not making it seem easy, and it's not making it seem like a definite death sentence. It's showing the realities of it, the kind of emotions you go through, your families go through. And it's not the show I would have thought to do this in. So I love the conversation between Lana and Lois. I love when Lois was finally able to talk about it with Clark, because you would worry, and you'd have completely irrational thoughts like, my husband's going to stop loving me because I don't have boobs. Now, there probably are shitty men out there who the marriage already isn't that strong, would do that. But when you have a love like Clarke and Lois, you know deep down she knew he was never going to actually care. It would be weird. There would probably even be intimate moments where he'd go to like, and there wouldn't be anything. But you would learn and you would adjust, and it would be uncomfortable to begin with, and it will mostly be uncomfortable for her because her body is different. You know, all of her clothes will sit differently on her, which I guess is why she was throwing so many of them out. You kind of just take for granted that your body, certain things about your body are the way they are, and like when you're a woman, once you get boobs, you kind of assume like, well, these are here to stay, this is what I have. But there are women who are naturally extremely flat-chested. Obviously that is very different to having scars where your breast should be, but like, you can still be feminine and you will still be able to rediscover that femininity that you feel like you've lost. Obviously it is easy for me to sit here right now and say that, rather than for someone who's facing losing their breasts to feel confident enough within themselves and that. But I fully believe it, that it's an adjustment, it's something you have to process and go through, but she will get through it. And it's a very frank and honest conversation to have. There was no minimizing. There was, I mean, I love the fact that at the end, Clarke said, well, those scars to me will be a sign that you survived. They're the reason you're here. You know, that is the truth, and that is what I was saying. That's what you have to focus on. That yes, it's awful, but it's a reminder that you're alive. It's why you're alive. But they didn't minimize her pain and her loss and her fears with that regard. So I thought it was very well done. And somehow, in and amongst all of that beautiful emotional stuff, we had all the rest of the chaos that was going on. I do feel very sorry for Mateo. My heart is breaking for him, because any kid, finding out your parents aren't who you thought they were isn't great. Like, probably as a little kid, or he still is a little kid, let's face it. As a kid, hearing people say, your dad's a crime boss or whatever, or you hear his dad's a mass murdering crime boss. You wouldn't want to believe it. You'd be content, my parents aren't that. And there probably were signs that he realised his dad was into some shitty stuff. But ultimately, he would also look at all the good his dad had done in this small area of Metropolis, and sort of assumed it was okay. The thing that really got me was when he was like, are you among murderers? And then Bruno was like, how could you say that? All we've done is for you. But you are murderers. And like, I understand that no one wants their kid to look at them, and he knew in that moment, if he said, yes, we are actually mass murderers, both of us, he might lose his son forever. So obviously he wasn't going to own up to it. But I also just feel like he's still lying to him, even when the truth is out there. The one thing Mateo said that irritated me was when he was like, maybe my parents aren't great, but your dad's not great too. And I'm like, you know, I get, and also I also do understand it. Like, I both didn't like it and was fully able to understand him, because A, he's a teenager, B, the thing that makes this 1,000 times more complicated is his mother is dying. You know, the anger and confusion he's feeling with regards to her is wrapped up in her imminent loss, in the fact that she's going to most likely die. I mean, maybe she won't die now that he's got the cure, but you know, that she's going to die, as far as like what he was thinking all episode. It's so much harder to be angry at someone, to have negative feelings towards somebody, even if they are justified, when you're going to lose them. And also, he's going to lose his mum. Can he afford to lose his father? You know, it kind of makes everything even more complicated than it would be if he had just had two healthy parents who did not seem like they were going to die anytime soon, and one of them turned out to be shit. So I understand why he was struggling so much, and I also do think refusing their right to see her, especially the son, was a shit move on John Henry's part. I think John Henry was acting on emotion. He was not acting rationally. He was acting cold. But if we stop making decisions like that all the time, we are resorting to their level. Now, what I could understand to a point is bluffing, is saying like, but then I suppose the minute you cave, they're like, oh, you want to go anyway. But what was, I think, very revealing was the moment Clarke went to him, was empathetic. And I mean, admittedly, he was like, I can't change the DOD's mind. He was going to do it. He was going to turn the stuff over. I mean, whether he would have actually gone through with that or not, who knows? But becoming as evil as the people you're facing is never the answer. Now, there are very extreme scenarios where it is. The problem I have with the moment where John Henry killed the guy is that the guy was charging at him. So Clark was nowhere to be seen. I'm not entirely sure what choice John Henry did have. Now, admittedly, he could have gone for a kneecap or something. Like, there probably were things he could have done that wouldn't have been killing blows, but it wasn't a scenario. What I was very concerned about was that the guy wasn't going to get back up again after, like, he'd been knocked down the first time, and then John Henry was going to go and whack him again and kill him, you know, kind of like killing a defenseless person, because that's when I would be like, you're lost. I don't think John Henry is quite lost, but I do think in a more rational moment, and by that I mean a time when he wasn't so emotionally all over the place, he might have gone for a non-lethal blow instead of the lethal blow. And he might have been a bit more, like, apologetic about having killed someone. Not like, oh, that guy was so good and pure, I can't believe I killed him, but been more like I'm really I didn't know what else to do, you know, he was trying to kill me, etc. But John Henry is spiraling. All the traumas he's been through, naturally being at the centre of it all, it is affecting him. But he did make things worse with Mannheim. His crusade and vendetta against Mannheim made Mannheim lash out. Now, admittedly, you cannot blame the person. Mannheim still did it. Like, he is still a bad person. He is at fault far more than John Henry. But there were so many other ways to handle it. The real person, in my opinion, who is culpable here is fucking Sam. Why did you let him anywhere near this case? He was clearly all over. Like, by the time Natalie had been involved, you should not have been letting him be the first person in there. He's the person you send in if you're really getting no traction with Mannheim any other way. Now, Mannheim himself, he is just one of those characters that he's almost worse than the out-and-out moustache-twirling I want power villains, because he is so wrapped up in his own head that he's a good guy, but he's just not. And even if he's helped 500 people, he's hurt 10 million. Like, okay, maybe that's a slight exaggeration, but it's just... I hate the bad guy who's so convinced they're a good guy, because they're just so obnoxious. And then when they reveal their hand, like he did in this episode, it's just like, oh, you're so great and good. I do think maybe Clark was being slightly too, like, oh, we should let him see his wife, like, too empathetic, in a sense. Not in the wanting to do it, I understand, and I actually love him for how empathetic he was, but more in the sense of, like, when talking about it with John Henry, he maybe should have been slightly more empathetic to John Henry talking about it. I don't know. But the whole thing is a fucking mess. He thinks he has a cure because Bizarro Superman is seemingly alive. He looks healthier than he was looking before. He might be able to cure it. Now, I'm sure there's going to be some kind of side effects. Do we know? But now that the cure for the mum's involved, I'm sure Mateo's going to be team dad because he wants to save his mum. What I'd love to happen would be for Mateo to immediately contact Natalie, or I presume Sarah, and be like, hey, my dad's got this secret underground basement in our place and it's got all this stuff. Come get it, please. A lot of what's happening is a mess, but I'm just really stressed with where it's all going. I also love the show. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of these reactions on my Patreon, and thank you so much for watching.